All right, gang. Josh Johnson here. We're about to get this party started. If you could just share this Facebook or YouTube Live, because we want to try to reach folks, let them know what's happening. First things first, let me say this straight out of the gate. We do not expect snow or ice anywhere in the southern two-thirds of Alabama this weekend. There is a massive amount of horrible information out there on Facebook and YouTube and TikTok and X and Insta and all of the socials. And just let me cut straight through all the nonsense. There will not be snow or ice um, anywhere in the southern two-thirds of the state out of this system. It's not going to happen. There are parts of Alabama where that may happen. Let's begin there, shall we? We'll skip ahead to Saturday morning. Frankly, the weather's fairly nondescript. It's cold. It's wet at times tonight and tomorrow. It's not an all-night rain tonight. It's not an all-day rain tomorrow. It's hit or miss showers. But then we get Saturday, and moisture streaming in from the west, cold air in place, and freezing rain and sleet will break out across initially the far northern sections of Alabama. I'm talking the Muscle Shoals area, back through Huntsville and over to Fort Payne. Initially, this likely falls in the form, I think, mainly of freezing rain. As Saturday progresses, the sun comes up. The freezing line works its way up into far northwest Alabama. Now, this will be one of those situations where if you're north of that line, there's significant accumulation of freezing rain. Remember, freezing rain, that's liquid rain that falls as a supercooled water droplet. And when it strikes a surface, particularly an elevated surface, a mailbox, a car hood, your deck, bridges and overpasses, power lines, tree limbs, things like that, it glazes those things. The ground will be warm enough initially up there to where I think a lot of that is just it's rain on the grass, but eventually it will turn colder and it'll start to stick there too. So travel problems possible up in that northwestern corner of the state Saturday afternoon. For 95% of us, it's just cold rain. Then we get to Saturday night, sun goes down, this batch of showers pivots through. It's a pretty heavy soaking rain Saturday night into Sunday. Wedge of colder air means an ice storm for north central and northeast Georgia. It's a close call for the Atlanta metro. This could be one where, Gwinnett County up to Hall County, you've got an ice storm. And then in Douglas County back down towards Noonan, it's just cold rain. It's a close call for Atlanta, not for us. Then we'll fast forward here. Surface low forms Sunday morning and then moves up across North Alabama by Sunday afternoon. This is a major ice storm across parts of Middle Tennessee, West Tennessee, and Mississippi. By this point, Sunday, most of Alabama has now been warm-nosed, right? What we will be looking for, frankly, by this time, Sunday afternoon, you get some thunderstorms to get going down in the southern sections of the state. This is the RRFS model, one of our newer higher resolution models. It's actually still experimental, but I think it's got the right idea. And you've got some surface-based instability. You've got some wind shear, primarily speed shear. There's not a ton of directional shear here, but the hodograph, which is a measure of how the wind is kind of corkscrewing with height, sure enough, yeah, it is. So I think there is a low-end risk of a strong storm or two out here Sunday afternoon into Sunday evening. Some limiting factors on this, not a ton of directional wind shear, and temperatures are still, frankly, a little marginal. 68 or 69 degrees with a dew point of 65. That is, for January, yeah, it's warm, but, it's not 75 either, which that does make a difference. Now, you'll notice down in this Covington County, it's a little warmer. So my suspicion is any severe weather risk in those far southern counties would be just that, primarily south of Montgomery down here across this section of the state. So that's where we see this system going. Now, let me show you this. This is, we're going to go to the European model, and I want to show you the national perspective. Actually, before I do that, I need to do one other thing with the Euro specifically. It is going to get stupid cold around here Sunday night. This is the raw European data, which frankly is playing catch up here. I think it's actually colder than the numbers you see here, but this is sunrise on Monday morning, and the temperature is in the 20 to 28 range across the southern half of Alabama. Upper teens in the northern sections, and we are below zero, not for a wind chill, for an air temperature as far south as Arkansas and Tennessee. How about that? And that's Monday morning. Now, many people are asking about the possibility of black ice. My suspicion is probably not. I think this will be it's windy, the pavement is warm. So I think for us in the southern half of Alabama, most of the moisture will evaporate off the roads before it has a chance to freeze Sunday night. Still, that said, we'll watch for places where maybe something drains onto the road, maybe the soil drains onto the road a little bit. Patchy black ice, I can't completely rule it out. I don't think it's enough to change any plans, but just be aware of that possibility. Monday morning, if you're driving to work or school and you see something that looks wet, it may not be wet. It may be a small icy spot. I do not expect widespread disruption of travel, though. So just be aware of that. Then Monday itself is a raw and cold day. Afternoon highs for most of you do not get out of the 30s Monday. Not only that, the wind is kicking all day Monday. It is bitterly cold Monday with afternoon temperatures in the 30s, and the wind will make it feel more like 20s most of the day. Then the wind dies down, and boy, oh boy, is it going to turn cold. Look at this. We've got single digits down into North Alabama, perhaps, across the Tennessee border. Upper teens all the way to the Florida border. So Monday night into Tuesday morning, I'm giving you a first alert now. You'll probably need to drip a faucet. You'll need to take those cold weather precautions Monday night into Tuesday morning because, man, does it get cold out there. Okay, so then let's look ahead. I want to go out into the long range here because you're going to hear and see some social media buzz about this. And I've very much adopted the strategy of I'm going to start talking about this stuff. For many years, I would just sort of not mention things that were out there in the long range. But with the proliferation of crazy stuff on social media, you're going to hear and see this anyway. So I want you to hear it and see it from me and let me give you some context on it so that you don't go buy sleds for something that the GFS is showing 12 days out. That would not be a smart choice. So I'm going to walk you through it and show you the data. But so this is the first system. It blows through here. It's stupid cold Monday and Tuesday. Reinforcing shot of cold air on Wednesday. It really, at no point this week does it really get ever warm. Then Friday, you get a surface low that forms in the Gulf and an area of high pressure keeping it cold. And would you look at that? Again, this is the European model, and it's suggesting some form of a Gulf low with some wintry precipitation across some of the Gulf states. Now, do not look at the specifics on this in any sort of excited way. This, quite frankly, is just what we look at this range is simply the pattern itself. Does the pattern favor some sort of wintry threat at the end of next week? I think it actually does. But like we've seen with this system, we won't know details until we get 3 days out, 4 days out. So all we know at this point, and all anyone knows at this point, and all any computer model knows at this point, is that the pattern does favor some sort of wintry threat somewhere in the southeastern quarter of the country at the end of next week. That could be Texas, that could be Georgia, that could be Kentucky, that could be Alabama, that could be all of the above, that could be some of the above, it could even be none of the above. So I tell you this just so when you see these crazy things floating around on social media that you understand that right now all we can do, all a computer can do is just sniff out possibilities. Now the computer generates a map all the time. I don't. I wait until 3 days or less to generate a forecast map, which by the way, there's a whole lot of meteorologists with egg on their face who wish they played it the same way because this last one that's coming through this weekend trended north about 300 miles. And those boneheads who came up with maps 5 days in advance felt pretty not smart about that, I bet. How do I know? I used to do it, right? We all want to be the first one to make a map, but the reality is there are ways to give you a first alert that don't involve giving you an irresponsible forecast. So that's the way we sort of play these things. This is the European computer model. Again, this is a long way out. This is next Friday night. There will be mountains of things that change between now and then, but I do want to show it to you, and then I want to show you this too. This is the GFS, same time. Different details, right? It's got almost an entirely different setup. The Euro has a retreating area of high pressure. The GFS has an approaching one, but either way, it's still showing Gulf low, cold air, moisture. Okay, we'll watch it. That's all you need to take away for next week is there could be some moisture, there could be some cold air. We'll watch it. You don't need to go buy a sled. You don't need to load up on kerosene. You don't need to go to Publix and buy all the bread and milk and toilet paper. You just need to know, all right, well, yeah, the pattern out at the end of next week, Josh says there could be something there. This is the Canadian computer model. Again, different details, right? The details look nothing alike on these. This is a little more like the European in that you've got kind of a retreating area of high pressure. You've got some moisture. In this instance, if these details were right, the snow stays way north of us in Alabama. So I don't know. Your neighbor's cat doesn't know. The Farmer's Almanac doesn't know. No computer model knows. We are talking pattern recognition, and is it favorable? Is it not favorable? No one knows any idea. I don't even have an idea yet, right? That's how this goes, by the way. Pattern recognition, then I talk ideas and scenarios, then I tell you which idea I think is gaining traction, and then if I need to, I draw a forecast map for you. This last one, we didn't even get to the map phase of this. There was no need, right? Once we got inside of 3 days, it had all shifted north. So that's the lay of the land as of this hour. Travel problems this weekend: Dallas, Oklahoma City, Little Rock, Jonesboro, Tulsa, Oklahoma, Memphis, Tennessee, Tupelo, Mississippi, Nashville, Tennessee, Knoxville, Tennessee, Chattanooga, Tennessee, maybe Atlanta, Clemson, South Carolina, Asheville, Charlotte, North Carolina, and on up the East Coast from there. Again, this is for this weekend. I'm talking about the system that's about to hit us and do all this nonsense right here. Basically, anywhere on this map where you see blue or pink, travel problems. This is Sunday morning, so the weekend, yeah, it's tricky. As always, thank you for watching this briefing. I'm going to go to work now, and I will see you tonight. WSFA 12 News, 5, 6, and 10. You can stream that, by the way. You can stream all of those live on the First Alert weather app. So hope you all have a great Thursday afternoon. I'll probably do some additional streams tonight, tomorrow, over the weekend, walking you through both. It's kind of three things I'm watching: a risk of a few strong to severe storms in far south Alabama Saturday night into Sunday, the likelihood of bitterly cold air Monday into Tuesday, with the potential for a few nights there where we need to drip a faucet and take those cold weather precautions, and then the pattern out at the end of next week. It's kind of a right now, that's a third priority because the first two are earlier and potentially higher impact, right? So that's what I'll be looking at